Привет wszystkim, I hope you guys are doing absolutely fantastic today. I'm Mysticle and I'll be bringing you the latest in AR and VR news. As usual, you have chapters down below to skip to any specific part of this video that you might be most interested in, but just before we jump into this video, a quick word from our sponsor. The Ranio Air 2S is something that's currently been making quite a waves in the AR space. So what actually makes these glasses stand out? First off, they're super lightweight at just 78 grams. They've got adjustable nose pads and temple arms, making them fit comfortably on just about any face out there. Now let's get into that display. It's a Sony 0.55-inch micro OLED display, giving you clean, crisp blacks as well as beautiful colors. It can push out a 1080p resolution in 2D as well as 3840 by 1080 in 3D. Plus, it's got a field of view of 46 degrees and a color gamut that hits 108% sRGB. And connectivity? You've got no worries there, as these things support DisplayPort over USB Type-C, which means any device that you own that's got a USB-C port that supports this, you will be able to project into these glasses. Audio is another highlight. The Ranio Air 2S pack dual super linear speakers with whisper mode for privacy. The sound is rich, immersive, and clear, perfect for gaming or streaming on the go. And when it comes to portability, these have also got you covered. They actually fold up and are ready to go whenever you are. Whether you're watching a movie or playing a game, you've basically got a 201-inch display right there in your pocket. So if you're in the market for AR glasses that offer top-tier specs as well as practicality, definitely check out the Ranio Air 2S. Links, of course, in case you want to find out more or grab a pair for yourself, will be down below. And thank you so much once again to Ranio for sponsoring this video. And with that being said, let's get right into the video. So, on our first piece of news is of course the Quest 3S, as we have even more images and leaks of the Quest 3S now in higher resolution, showing us what it has and what it doesn't have. Meaningly, the headphone jack. It seems the Quest 3S has gone in the way of smartphones and removed the headphone jack, which is actually incredibly annoying, as this isn't a phone where you can just kind of remove that headphone jack. This isn't something where you're going to be using Bluetooth headphones in order to game, because not everyone has Bluetooth headphones with technologies such as aptX and low latency. Reading from Upload VR, the clearest Quest 3S photos yet have leaked. They confirm it lacks a headphone jack and reveal its battery size. The 9 images were shared to the virtual reality channel of Arcalive, a South Korean forum site somewhat similar to Reddit. It's unclear where they originate from, but the background setting resembles what we've seen before from testing labs. In these images, we can see that the form factor of this device is going to be much closer to the Quest 2 than the Quest 3. In the front, we can see those 6 cameras and what appears to be a microphone hole, as well as the LED light up top to indicate whether the device is on or off. To the left, we have the charging port, the power button, what is either an LED indicator or another microphone, and a camera on the bottom. No headphone jack. And then on the right, you can see another camera, and once again, no headphone jack, not even in the head strap. But we also have the battery size here, which appears to be 16.74 watt hours. That places it between the Quest 2 and the Quest 3, but don't expect it to have notably better battery life than the Quest 2 or less than the Quest 3. The much higher resolution color pass-through means the Quest 3S should draw more energy than the Quest 2, but since Fresnel lenses are more optically efficient than pancake lenses, it won't need to run that display panel as bright as the Quest 3. All things considered, we'd expect the Quest 3S to have very similar battery life to the Quest 2 and the Quest 3. We can also see that the controllers will be the same as the ones we currently have on the Quest 3, and we also have the power brick, which is 18 watts. Pretty nice. It means that to get higher quality and private audio without compromising latency, Quest 3S owners will have to purchase a Type-C audio solution, precluding chargers while playing. That's actually something I completely missed. Yeah, USB-C dongles will probably work with this device, but a dongle is not something you want dangling from something on your head while you're moving that head around. It's just a pretty stupid solution. It's a solution that's not unique to Meta though. Pico 4 and Pico 4 Ultra also don't have headphone jacks, and nor does the Apple Vision Pro. In fact, low latency private audio on the Vision Pro is only possible via Apple's own AirPods Pro 2. So there you guys go. Some interesting pieces of information, some fairly large leaks here, basically giving us the device. This is probably what we're going to get during Connect, which is coming up fairly soon, by the way. Let me know what you think about this device down below, and is this something that you are going to be upgrading to, perhaps from the Quest 2, in case you guys haven't bought the Quest 3 yet. Another little something that the Quest 3S is supposedly going to have is an action button, which is described on the official Meta support page. Official Meta support pages now reference the Quest 3S, and one describes it as having a new button to toggle pass-through. First spotted by VR enthusiast Luna, the full-color pass-through on Meta Quest support article now describes how this new button acts as a toggle between pass-through and immersive VR, replacing the unreliable double tap of previous Quest headsets. I wouldn't necessarily call it unreliable, it actually worked quite well for me, but it is something that you could accidentally trigger from time to time. And I did have people accidentally trigger that, and I would have to walk up to them and be like, hey, you just double tap the headset to get rid of that. So the way I see it, this is just Meta fixing something that wasn't necessarily an issue, but making something more reliable is always good. Another article called Status Display Light Colors on Meta Quest 3 and Meta Quest 3S references the repeatedly leaked headset too. This isn't the first time Meta has accidentally leaked the name Quest 3S. The official Quest store accidentally listed Quest 3S as supported by some games at the end of May, and we did actually cover this as well. I guess it's just nice being able to actually see the device that will be coming. Something that won't apparently be coming though is Meta Quest body trackers. Well, that is unless Pico's first succeed. Reading from Upload VR, Meta's CTO says the company won't make motion trackers for Quest unless Pico motion trackers do so well they prove him wrong. So this is an interesting one because a lot of people want Meta to release standalone full body trackers for the Quest. We have unofficial methods of making full body tracking work on Quests with, say, for example, slime trackers, and that does work. During his Ask Me Anything session on Instagram this week, Andrew Bosworth was asked whether Meta was working on something similar to Pico motion trackers that ByteDance is shipping alongside the Pico 4 Ultra. They'll be supported in VR chat on both standalone and PC at launch, as well as games like Blade and Sorcery Nomad and Drunken Bar Fight in the future updates. Pico motion trackers weigh just 27 grams. Calibration is handled by using the headset's cameras in a couple of seconds, and they have a claimed 25 hours of active battery life. We actually spoke about these trackers in a previous video, and these are interesting because they not only use IMUs in order to track your body when they're out of the view of the cameras, but calibration is handled by the headset's cameras with you just staring down at them, as these trackers also have IR LEDs. So anytime they are in the view of the headset's cameras, they just kind of snap back into place, and that also helps them become more accurate. So very interesting, but apparently Meta won't be interested in actually making anything like this unless these succeed greatly. I mean, I don't necessarily understand Meta's form of thinking here, because they could just kind of make them for the people that want them. It would be nice, or at least give us some option in software to pair third-party trackers. Meta CTO confirms work on Glass's form factor mixed reality device. So Andrew Bosworth has also apparently said the company is currently working on a Glass's form factor mixed reality headset. We have known this, they've been working on this for a while, but apparently this is just a reconfirmation on that. In his Ask Me Anything, Bosworth confirmed the company is working on the device, although didn't provide any concrete timelines. I don't think a mixed reality headset, even in a Glass's form factor, which we're working on, is going to disrupt the smartphone. But I do think augmented reality is going to at some point, and we're also working on that, but I can't tell you timelines. So again, just a reconfirmation, not much here, just him essentially saying, yeah, we're still working on it, but I do agree here. I think the first few iterations, at least, of Glass's form factor AR glasses aren't going to disrupt the smartphone. There's just way too much inside a smartphone that you can't yet fit in such a form factor, and it's going to take a while for people to get used to something like that as well. So I think it's going to be a while before we see people walking without smartphones with just augmented reality glasses. What didn't take very long though is PSVR2 adaptive triggers working with PCVR, as developers have apparently already gotten that working after the Sony adapter launched just a little while ago. PlayStation VR 2 got official PCVR support last month as Sony released a SteamVR driver and PC adapter needed for most graphics cards. But on PC, the headset is missing its standout features, including eye tracking, HDR, and adaptive triggers on the controllers. Adaptive triggers let let developers dynamically set the level of resistance of the triggers, making them easier or harder to squeeze depending on the virtual object the player is holding. It's a unique haptic effect not available on other VR controllers. The developer of the VR game Cactus Cowboy Desert Warfare worked with the developer of DSX, a paid tool that lets PlayStation controller owners access their device's full feature set on PC, including adaptive triggers, to add support for the PSVR2 Sense controllers. This was tested with closed beta versions on both the game and DSX to confirm that it works. Currently, it requires keeping DSX open alongside the game, but Cactus VR Studios plans to add native support in the future, implementing the code to access the adaptive triggers directly into the game, so no need to buy DSX. This is incredibly exciting. I was wondering how long it would take developers to actually make this happen, and here we are. I knew it would. I knew it would happen eventually. The VR community is just like that. They end up adding the features themselves if the company doesn't give them the features, and eye tracking is probably going to do the exact same thing. The PS5 Pro was announced, and that will have great upscaling features. In case you guys haven't seen videos on that, highly recommend you watch them. But apparently it will also automatically upscale all PlayStation VR2 games in a future update. Like Nvidia's DLSS, PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution (PSSR) feature uses a neural network trained on gameplay footage to upscale games, with much higher quality results than traditional image upscaling techniques. According to Sony in an interview with CNET, PSSR will work automatically with the entire flat-screen PlayStation game library. The same interview reveals that PSSR won't support VR games at launch, but will in a future firmware update, which will work with all VR games, though there is no timeline given for this. Now, there's fans of upscaling, and people that absolutely hate it as well. Some people claim that upscaling VR titles is actually the wrong way to do it, and that it makes them worse to play. So I do hope Sony gives users the option to turn it on or off with VR as well, even though I do realize that for a lot of people, actually using this upscaling feature will increase FPS and greatly reduce motion sickness, which is also fantastic. The cheaper Apple Vision Pro might actually end up using OLED screens in order to achieve its much lower prices. The Sony supplied micro OLED displays in the Apple Vision Pro are a 1.42 inch with a pixel density of around 3,386 ppi, providing a resolution of 3660 by 2200. But it has been widely reported that they are difficult and expensive to manufacture, and the primary contributor to the Vision Pro's eye-watering price. For over a year now, Apple has reportedly been testing cheaper micro OLED displays from 2 Chinese suppliers to try and bring down the cost of future Vision headsets, but both companies have reportedly struggled to meet Apple's stringent quality standards, reducing their effective yield and driving the cost back up. So it looks like Apple might instead be looking at using OLED displays for a future cheaper device. Vision OS 2 for the Vision Pro will soon launch, as a matter of fact, that will be this week, but 3 big features won't come until later this year. Apple confirmed it's launching Vision OS 2 on September 16th, which is coming along with a ton of previously teased features announced back in WWDC in June. 3 features are listed as coming later this year though, so here's what you are going to be missing. Panoramic productivity with Mac Virtual Display, spatial video support for Final Cut Pro, and finally, Apple TV Sports Multiview. And what is coming next week, you can check out down in the article down below from Road to VR, as there is quite a few features here. So in case you guys have the Vision Pro, you can be excited for September 16th. Vision OS 2.0 will be dropping. And finally, in case you guys haven't seen, the Apple 16 lineup has now changed its camera layout in order to suit spatial videos. So you can really see Apple seems to be inside this AR space or XR space for the long run, as they are actually changing the layout of their phone cameras in order to suit recording spatial video, which is quite interesting. It actually looks more like the iPhone 10 now. Either way though, that's going to be it for today's video. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day or night. Hope you guys found out something new. If you did and you liked the video, please leave a like. It costs you nothing, helps the channel out a lot. If you disliked it, I guess this button works too, but let me know why down below. If you guys are not yet part of our community, comment section is of course down below. Leave your comment down there, or check out our Discord and our Reddit down below where I want to see you posting your spicy memes. As usual, thank you so much to all the Patreons supporting this channel. You guys are amazing, seriously. Thank you so much. You are what makes this possible. And as usual, if you guys want me to further content coming up on the channel, smack that subscribe button with your head, ding my bell, and see you again in the next video. Peace.
Powiem, że zaraz się na stówy wywalę.
Nie, możesz iść. Pusto jest na ulicy, puste
To
ulice.
jest kosmos. Nie wiem, czy widać tło, nie wiem. Nie naciskaj, nieważne.